Hard to believe that's already week 11 in the fixed Indycar Oval Series calendar, leaving us with just one more week of racing after Homestead Miami. Welcome to South Florida, where the high-banked oval has 3 different grooves that you can use through each lane and eats your tires for breakfast. Hopefully you can have some mimosas and some nice salmon or something, or tuna from the sea just off the coast here in Miami Beach. When you're qualifying, I liked a 5 front bar and a 4 rear bar. I didn't use any weight jacker until I got to my white flag lap. I used the green flag lap just to get the tires up to temp, but not wear them aggressively. That I lift and that I'm very delicate with the wheel on my green flag lap. Coming to the white flag lap, I run as high as I can manage through turns 3 and 4 to carry as much speed to the line as possible. This is when I dial in my 5 points of weight jacker that I'll use for the whole lap. The goal here is to go from the wall to the white line and then stay underneath the first seam. You don't need to hug the white line. You will really want to avoid hitting the apron. So you want to stay as low as you can and come all the way back out to the wall and exit. Rinse and repeat for 3 and 4, which is a little slicker because it bakes in the sunlight. And again, wash the apron and bring it all the way back out to the wall on exit. You'll find that something like a 25.2 will be good this week. I'd expect the pole to be something like a 25.1 flat or a 25.075. The race setup, however, is much slower, but the tools will be similar if you're running the bottom. My 3 tenets for this race are to prefer the bottom whenever you can in clean air, but prefer clean air over the bottom. You'll see here at the start, you do whatever you can to make up spots. Sometimes drivers are timid and avoid the top at the beginning of the race, but the top is slower at the beginning. So just be careful to avoid stack-ups and only use the top if you feel like the drivers on the bottom are being a little too meek or timid. Then as soon as you can, dial back up the bottom and lift on entry. You're going to need to lift whenever you're in dirty air just to save your tires. The race line is a little different than the qualifying line. In clean air, you'll go from wall to wall like you do in Q, but in race trim, when you're in dirty air, you want to stay on the white line basically through the entire corner. Watch how I approach this corner. I'm on the white line, on the white line, on the white line, on the white line, and I have somebody pinching me down the whole time. So your racetrack is very wide, but your space is limited. Here I'm 3 wide and the cars in front of me were 3 wide on entry. I find a little nest of clean air between the 2 cars in front of me, and I use it to my advantage to pull up and grab another position. Here they leave me the white line, so I go all the way to the bottom and lift and continue to lift through the center of the corner until I can clear myself on the teal car behind, and then I follow this blue car into 1 and 2. Here he'll get a little loose in the middle of the corner, and I pounce. They keep leaving me the white line on the bottom, which is the best line, both for speed and for tire wear, but I jump to the outside to get around that car that got loose. The field will begin to string out, and fighting other drivers is the worst thing you can do for lap time and tire life. If someone's faster than you, don't fight them. Let them by. They will burn up your tires, and you'll catch them later. If you need to go to the top side to fight another car who won't give up the bottom, dial in more rear bar and some positive weight jacker. You can almost go flat out around the top, but it will skate on entry. So aim low and skateboard up a half pipe to bring your right side tires as close as you can manage to the wall. Watch how I do it here for this lap. You're going to try to aim above the top seam the entire lap. And there's this little weird half seam that you can see about where my arrow screen unicorn horn is. You want to keep your right tire to the right of that half seam. Now, later in the run, you'll need to make sure that if you're on the bottom after you've been on the top to take those tools away. Here, a driver takes the bottom from me and I try to pinch him, but I left those tools in the car. You can see I get loose on exit and we both crash. The car will naturally get looser on exit as the run goes on and the fuel load lightens. So I would recommend going down to like a 2 rear bar or a 1 rear bar and using negative weight jacker when you're at the end of a tire life stint or when your fuel tank is low. Here you can see those tools that I referenced baked into the car here at the end of a fuel run and what pit entry will look like. Peel down off the back straightaway and get down to third gear or second gear through this on-road. It will be very slick and very slow. Be careful not to lock up your brakes or to slide your tires, and get down to pit road speed. Turn on the limiter and meet your crew for 4 fresh tires. Exiting pit road is more of the same. You'll need to be really careful with the throttle. You cannot just floor it to exit pit road safely. I would recommend keeping your negative weight jacker here while you're exiting pit road just to avoid spinning out. Make sure you're clear to merge up onto the track, and watch your tires be a little cold for the first lap and a half. Thanks for watching. Those are my tips for Homestead, and I hope you've enjoyed Season 1. We have 2 weeks left to go.